4 different Omaha murders. Now we're taking an even closer look at NIKKO Jenkins, focusing on a family tree filled with felons. Good evening, I'm Jeremy Maskell. Tonight, NIKKO Jenkins remains behind bars, jailed in the killings of Andrea Kruger, Curtis Bradford, Jorge Cajilla Ruiz, and Juan Uribe Pena. This afternoon, 2 of his sisters and his uncle all went before a Douglas County judge for bond hearings connected to 2 separate murder cases. In the big story at 10, I-Team investigator Hannah Pickett is sorting out the family ties. Hannah?
And Jeremy, this is a complicated family tree, as you alluded to. 8 convicted felons in 2 generations, with 2 more facing felony charges. Douglas County investigators walked us through all of the connections, helping make sense of it all.
You could say NIKKO Jenkins and his relatives have had a colorful past. Just look at their family tree. 8 felons in just 2 generations. Let's start with NIKKO's uncle, 51-year-old Warren Levering. He's a felon just released from prison in Oklahoma and has done time in Nebraska, too. Investigators say he's fathered 7 children with 6 different women in 5 states. This week, prosecutors charged him as an accessory in the murder of Andrea Kruger. They say he helped NIKKO get rid of Kruger's car and tried to set it on fire near 43rd and Charles. Prosecutors say Levering got the gas can from his sister's house. NIKKO Jenkins' mother, Lori. Lori just bonded out of jail herself this week on an unrelated felony terroristic threats charge. In addition to Levering, Lori has 2 other brothers. Both are convicted felons. One is even currently on parole. Investigators say Lori Jenkins had 6 children with David McGee but never married him. McGee died in 2009 but was a felon himself, convicted of terroristic threats. Of the couple's 6 kids, 4 have been arrested in the past month. 23-year-old Erica Jenkins is a convicted felon, now facing murder and weapons charges in the death of Curtis Bradford. Friday, she told Judge Caniglia she can't be a killer because she's 3 months pregnant. Investigators say she has a 7-year-old son, too, that initially was placed in child protective custody. Erica's little sister, 18-year-old Lori Sales, known as Lolo, is charged in Bradford's murder, too. Prosecutors say she got rid of the murder weapon. A 3rd sister, Melanie, also a convicted felon, bailed out of jail last week on unrelated terroristic threats charges. She's 25, and investigators say she has 3 children under the age of 7, and all were initially placed in child protective custody. As for NIKKO Jenkins, he was just released from prison before prosecutors say he shot and killed 4 people. He's 27 years old and legally married to 22-year-old Shalonda Jenkins, seen here in a recent interview. She's a felon, too, and told us she's pregnant with NIKKO's child. NIKKO has 2 other sisters. Both live out of state, and neither are in much contact with the Omaha Jenkins. A broad look at the ties to one man, a man prosecutors say has uprooted 4 other families.
Now, one other family connection. Investigators say Jimmy Levering was a cousin to this family. He died 2 years ago, but was charged with murder in 2006. That charge was ultimately dropped because witnesses backed out. Now, we have more complete coverage of all of the ongoing cases connected to the Jenkins family. You'll find those stories on KETV.com. Jeremy, back to you.
Hannah, thanks. More news. The man accused of killing an Omaha nurse